And this is the knife's edge. Just the beginning. I first conquered Katahdin back in 2018 while hiking the Appalachian Trail, and it was an incredible and challenging experience. And now I thought it was high time to return to Maine and conquer the beast again. Now, Katahdin not only being the tallest mountain in the state, it's also very difficult to reach. Baxter State Park is very remote, seemingly in the middle of nowhere, and if that isn't difficult enough just reaching it, there's limited parking at all the trailheads for Katahdin, and they require parking permits that you need to reserve ahead of time. So what we did was actually book a campsite in the park instead to avoid the parking reservation. However, the only campsite available was on the other side of the park, an hour's drive from the trailheads. So we had to wake up at 5:30 in the morning and start driving an hour to the other side of the park to reach the trailhead before it opened up for all of the day hikers who can claim the unreserved spots. So just make sure you do your research and plan accordingly. It's been 5 years since I've been back in Maine, Appalachian Trail. This is the entrance to the 100-mile wilderness, although I was going the other direction. I was leaving. But there's a sign, you're entering 100-mile wilderness and you're gonna die, whatever it says. But I'm back. Now, before you start any hike, you have to make sure that you dress accordingly. And I just discovered this great menswear brand called Fioboc. They have this activewear line that uses this smooth blend fabric that's super comfortable and soft. I love how it feels, and it's also a polyester spandex blend, so it's quick drying and lightweight, so it's perfect for my hiking needs where I tend to avoid cotton products. And I really like the long sleeve options they have because it keeps my arms protected from the sun while also being able to be used in colder weather. And then the jogger pants are great because they're very comfy and they also have great pockets and even a zippered pocket to keep things secure. Now their fabrics come in tons of really fun colors like the ones that I picked out, but they also have neutrals as well. And if you visit their website, it's not just activewear, they have whatever type of clothes you're looking for. And if you use the code ASL20, you'll receive 20% off your order. So check the link in the video description to learn more about Fioboc because their clothes are just so comfortable. I love them. And so now I'm back in Baxter State Park to go climb Katahdin again. We parked at the Roaring Brook campground and hit the trail. All right, so here I am about to go up to the knife's edge, but going up this time, not down. We started off on the Helen Taylor Trail, and it was a little bit rocky, but it wasn't difficult to start. It's very rocky, but not hard, I don't think. It's not like the trails in the whites of New Hampshire. I don't think it's too bad. If you blink, you'll miss it, but we did see a moose, which was super cool because on the Appalachian Trail, I actually didn't see any moose. So it was really fun to see one on Katahdin so high up on the mountain. First views of the day, hoping the sun will burn off the haze. Whew. There it is. Katahdin. It is Katahdin, the knife's edge there, but first we have to get to Pamola Peak. Still climbing up to Pamola. Here we are, top of Pamola Peak. There's Katahdin. Oh, it's a nice edge to get there. And here we are at the top of Pamola Peak, one of the many peaks of Katahdin. But there's Baxter Peak and South Peak straight ahead. But we still have to do the knife's edge, treacherous 1 mile. But what a clear day. I remember from the Appalachian Trail that there were some sketchy parts of the Knife's Edge Trail because we had hiked it down the mountain. But now that we were hiking up, I didn't realize that the hard part was going to be right at the beginning. And this is just the beginning of the Knife's Edge. We took our time and went slowly, and afterwards, the hard part was done. And now I have to go up this. And there's Pamola. And here we are, not even a quarter of the mile into the knife's edge. Whew. Quite treacherous and hazy. And now for the best part, hiking along the knife's edge. It's not as scary as it looks. You just have to be sure-footed and just pick your way amongst the rocks, but it's this exposed ridge all the way to the summit, and it is just so beautiful. It was a little windy, but other than that, it was just perfect weather, just amazing, and so stunning to pick our way across the ridge. There it is, just a short ways away. And then there's the tablelands, which is where the Appalachian Trail, that's the route it follows up. And we're almost there. As we got closer, we could see the giant rock cairn that marks the summit of Baxter Peak, which also is Katahdin, the tallest of all of the summits of Baxter Peak. There's the summit. There are a number of day hikers mingling about at the summit, and here you can see the sign that marks the northern terminus of the Appalachian Trail, and we were lucky enough to see a number of AT thru hikers finishing their hike coming up the Able Trail. So this is the last stop on their 2,200 mile journey. It was super emotional to watch, having myself been there before in this moment. Just very magical for these guys. Leaving the summit, taking the saddle trail back. Looks much easier. Now this was a new route for me. I had never taken the saddle trail before, and it was a nice gentle decline down from the summit until we reached the bottom of the saddle and we actually had to start really descending. And after hiking down from Baxter Peak on the saddle trail, we are now ready to continue down back into the woods. Very steep. Now this took a lot of time just to carefully make our way down without slipping or falling. It is very rocky and very steep, but gorgeous views the entire way down. The total round trip distance for this hike is about 9 miles, and the park rangers recommended at least 8 hours, and that's about how long it took us. You just definitely have to go slow and give yourself enough time to complete this hike because it is slow going at times. There's a lot of rocks. You also have to remember to take enough water because even the campsites in Baxter State Park do not have any potable water, so you have to filter everything yourself. But look at these views, just a nice boardwalk leading to a stunning mountain lake with Katahdin looming overhead. It was just such a perfect day to return to this beautiful park in Maine. Now the saddle trail eventually joins up with the Chimney Pond Trail, which we then followed all the way back to the Roaring Brook campground for the end of an incredibly rewarding hike. And finally, after hiking for 8 hours, we are almost back to Roaring Stream parking lot, where we will finish our day and drive the hell out of the middle of nowhere, Maine. And yes, we had a very long drive ahead of us as we headed to Acadia that night for our next adventure. Basically, we started at the Roaring Brook campground, maybe 6:30 or 7 in the morning, and we followed the Helen Taylor Trail all the way up to the top of Pamola Peak, where we followed the knife's edge to Katahdin. Then we took the saddle trail back down into the basin, and eventually we met up with the Chimney Pond Trail, which we followed all the way back to Roaring Brook campground. So a total of about 9 miles, and it took us about 8 hours or so. If you want to learn more about this hike, check out my blog at astraylife.com/Katahdin. And if you want to see more of my Appalachian Trail hike, be sure to check out the videos on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.